Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cabela's, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, Hoyman Tree Saws, Muddy Outdoors, and Realtree.
Day 14, October 31st. Happy November's Eve Day. Should be a national holiday for us deer hunters. I've been waiting 11 months to be able to say that, so we're right back in the heat of the battle again here. This morning, I'm in the same stand that I hunted yesterday evening, and this is the spot where we have the most recent daylight photos of the big 8-pointer, the lone oak buck. When that last cold front came through, he was in this food plot 2 mornings in a row in daylight. So that's why we're here. He's a cool buck. I'd really like to at least see him. Obviously, getting a chance to shoot that deer would be icing on the cake. The morning is cool. It's about, I don't know what the current temperature is. The high for today is supposed to be around 40 with about a 8-mile-an-hour wind, and it's pretty still yet. It's starting to pick up just a tiny little bit. When we walked in, it was dead calm. You could feel the thermals. We were able to get in clean. We just walked really, really slow and climbed super slow into the tree. And that's the key on those really still mornings, is you just can't do anything fast because you end up making noise when you move fast. So just give yourself enough time. It's just a beautiful morning to be in a tree. Not a cloud in the sky right now, so it's gonna be a pretty interesting sunrise, a beautiful sunrise. It's 10:30, and even though the deer are still moving, at least a little bit, it's kind of a trickle of deer. We're going to take off. We've got some work we have to do and a few things we need to take care of. But it was probably an average morning. Saw 3 different bucks and I think 3 or 4 does. The does were kind of picking us off. We're a little bit skylined in this tree. It's not bad from one direction, but from the other side they can see us pretty easy. So you know, that wasn't good, because I wanted to come back and hunt this spot again this afternoon. I think we're all right. You know, they never really got super spooky. They just were uncomfortable. So I would say this afternoon is going to be back in the same spot. This wind is going to be best for here. I mean, I would consider going after that wide 10 again tonight, but this wind is going to be about 45 degrees wrong for that stand. So we're going to climb down, take care of a few things, and then we'll be back in the tree again here in a couple of hours. For this afternoon's hunt, I'm going to change it up a little bit. This morning I thought we'd go back to the same spot for this afternoon, but I pulled cards from a camera that I had on the time-lapse mode in that little small bean plot that we hunted, oh gosh, 3 weeks ago maybe now. And the lone oak buck, the big 8-pointer, was on that little bean field. Looks like he was feeding a lot, but he was also chasing a few does around on there. Not last night, but the 2 previous evenings in daylight, well before the end of legal shooting time. So we're going to set up about halfway, a little bit more than halfway, 3/4 of the way between where we were this morning to where he was feeding those 2 evenings. Not last night, like I said, the 2 before that. So it's a little small island of trees that we're heading to. We're just going to take off from the house, cut across these bottoms, cross the creek, pop into that little small island of trees, and then when we come out, we'll be able to come back out in theory without going back and bumping any of those deer that are going to be feeding in that small bean field. That's the biggest challenge we're going to face, is getting out of there at the end of legal shooting time. He spends, from what I can tell, he spends his time right in this little corridor right here. So hopefully, as he makes his way out of these timbers into that little bean plot, he'll come past that little island of trees. I mowed a path in there back during the summer, maybe early August, I'm thinking mid-August. So hopefully he'll use that path, because that comes right past the end of that, or within 15 yards of the tree stand. That's the plan for this evening. It's nice to have those cameras out there. You know, if I wouldn't have been able to pull those cameras or those photos off that camera, I wouldn't have had any idea what this deer was doing. So that explains why we haven't been seeing him in the other spot. He wasn't there. So we'll try to find him tonight. Straight up the hill from us too, right towards the end of the lane up there. I don't think I've ever messed up a good spot as bad as I did tonight. The deer were moving so early. By the time we got in here, it was probably 3 hours and 15 minutes, 3.5 hours before the end of legal shooting time when we got in here. But there were already 12 deer out in this valley, kind of scattered around. So I couldn't even get into the tree without spooking something. And once you spook the first one, it's just sort of a, you know, like a ripple effect. It just, all the deer are on edge. So every doe that comes out is looking for any excuse to blow. They stomp around. So we went through that for about 2 hours. And then things kind of settled down. We got organized up in the tree. We were able to relax a little bit. And the deer, they did move in a relaxed way for a while here this evening, but nothing like it should have been. Had we gotten in early enough, I mean, it's hard to say if you can get into this valley early enough. I've hunted this place a lot, and it seems like no matter what, there's deer out. But had we gotten lucky enough to get in here without spooking anything, I think we would have had a pretty exciting night. There was a lot of deer down in here. So that's it for tonight. We're going to hang in here, though. We've got another at least a half an hour left. We'll bring you whatever comes out this evening. Tomorrow morning, we're supposed to have a south wind, so I think tomorrow morning we're going to go into what we call the plow down plot. And this is another, almost similar to this, except I think we can get away with it. It's an isolated little spot down in a valley with a redneck blind. I'm not sure it'll be a great morning spot, but we're going to give it a try. So check back again tomorrow and see how that goes for us.